Hey, it's Drybear. Today I'm going to ask and answer one simple question, and that is, should you be excited for the upcoming MMO, Blue Protocol? What's unique about it, what's exciting about it, how the class system works, how the customization for each of your characters works, and everything in between. So let's get started. But first, if you have any questions or comments for me, you'll find me live on Twitch every single day on twitch.tv/Drybear. Come say hi. So what is Blue Protocol? It is an upcoming action MMO set to release in 2023. It is developed by Bandai Namco. It has been teased a lot in Japan and has been highly anticipated in other regions. We finally got a confirmed that it's coming next year in 2023. It will be published by Amazon Game Studios, or AGS, the same people who dealt with New World and also have been publishing Smilegate's Korean MMO, Lost Ark. So we're gonna have some of that experience there. It looks like they are learning with every single title they release and publish, and both of the titles they've worked with have been MMOs, one of which is, just like Blue Protocol, a MMO from Eastern style gaming, this one from Japan. The game will be free to play with no monthly service, but it will have microtransactions. So you can refer to it more like some of the gacha games, though there are no gameplay mechanics that are gacha. There will be cosmetics, and it's unclear whether there will be more pay-to-win aspects that relate to the power of your character. It doesn't seem to be as extreme as things like Black Desert Online or even Lost Ark, but there are some gray areas that we're not 100% sure on just yet. But the combat looks really cool. It's three-dimensional action combat. Unlike traditional MMO games that are cooldown based and ability based, there is some freeform combat. You do have an auto attack, you have a hit chain that you can combo together, and then you have variants on that hit chain that will modify based on what direction you're moving, whether you're holding down the charge button or not, and doing light or heavy variations on things like you would in an action game. They have said there will be RNG transactions like gacha, but they've said that it's only going to be for cosmetic options for your character. But the gameplay itself, if there are purchasable options, which we still aren't clear on, if they do exist, they will not be RNG and role-based. They will be directly there. So the jury's still out on whether that's going to be more pay to win. Personally, I'm okay with styles like Lost Ark, where it's more like you're paying to get ahead. You're not just paying to progress, and you can't play if you want to play free to play. So that's that. The class system's a little unique. It's not quite as direct. Some of the combat elements and the character design, the gameplay design, kind of reminds me more of Monster Hunter. You don't really have the traditional trifecta tank, healer, DPS. Instead, you have kind of these classes that are better at certain things than others. There are some tanky classes. There's this really cool heavy weapons character that can switch between melee and big blast. There's the sword and shield character. There is your traditional melee DPS character. There's the character you see on screen, which is an archer / healer, has some support effects to it, but does have a lot of bow attacks and ranged attacks. And then there is a spellcaster, which is your magic user, your wizard, and they have spells that they can weave together. They are not cooldown based. They are more action point or ability point based, which means you're using up your mana bar to cast spells. Then you're less restricted by which spells you use and more restricted on how you manage your resource. And then you have a regenerative effect for standing still. As far as I can tell, the game has no PvP in it. It's mostly open world PvE. There's solo content and there's group content. And it looks like they do want many styles of PvE encounters for you to try and overcome by yourself or with your friends, or possibly with a much larger group as you put your characters together. There's also a status system, much like Monster Hunter. You can use different elements to stack up status effects, and that can help you specify how you build your group to face off against certain things. If you use ice and you build up enough ice buildup on it, it'll freeze the monster. Fire will cause it to burn, things like that. So it feels very Monster Hunter-esque in that way, but it is instead an MMO. There are talent trees per class that you can change up and specify how you want to play. It'll change your combat abilities, it'll change your weapon abilities, it'll change your hit chain, it'll mess with how you play. And it does seem like there is some flexibility on how you mingle those together to construct a group for you and your team. They have a non-class gameplay element in summons. They have these specific summons that you can equip to your character. They are global. It's a global pool that you can choose from. And these can just be equipped and utilized and modified as well with different modifiers. So you may summon a summon that has a tanky aspect to it. Maybe there's one that heals. Maybe there's one that does good damage. Maybe there's one that has crazy buffs on it. But there's a non-class generic summoning system that you can equip and use that as part of how you make your group or how you make your solo play. It's almost like every class is a pet class, and then that global system of summons helps you specify and modify your gameplay. The world seems pretty expansive. It does look really nice. I do like the art style. The character customization seems pretty extensive as well. You can specify a lot about how your character works. And as games like this, especially in this kind of art style, they have a lot going into how to create your character, importing things. There's a photo mode. You can share that character with others. There's a big social aspect to it. So the questions for me really are, how in-depth is the gearing system? Because we only saw a few things on the gearing system. There are some ways you can modify and amplify your gear, though it does seem like there are some extra currencies and things that you build up through undescribed means. It could be that you buy power and modify your weapons with it. It could be that you grind it in game. We just don't know yet. So we don't really know exactly what the pure gameplay pay to win versus grindy aspects are going to be. But at its core, it's interesting. I've always loved action MMOs. I think they're fun and exciting. Not every action MMO succeeds as well. We've had plenty of them that have completely flopped. We've had plenty of them that did amazingly. It all depends on how it's implemented. It is cool to see something like New World being under AGS and them coming to this game. And it's possible that we may see a more harsher Eastern-style monetization scheme for Blue Protocol in Japan. And then when it comes to Western regions, since AGS has experience publishing Lost Ark, and they did make modifications to that, though it's possible that was all Smilegate, we'll see how that ends up playing out. But the graphics are great. The gameplay seems really fun. Having a Monster Hunter style gameplay MMO that you can share with your friends and take down PvE encounters sounds really fun and exciting, and I personally am excited for it. But the question is, should you be excited for Blue Protocol? I would say if you like PvE focused games and you like open format style PvE combat, where it's more just you bring what you bring, you have who you have. It's not as rigid and focused as the trifecta tank, DPS, healer. You like customization and you like that kind of style for your game, then definitely be excited for it. If you're on the fence, you don't always like those kind of games, maybe hold off on your excitement and wait to see what happens. There's still a lot of information that we need from Bandai Namco on the game. And overall, I think you could be cautiously optimistic or just outright excited if this is your kind of game. And I'm excited to hear more about the game going into next year. If you have any questions or comments for me, join me live, twitch.tv/Drybear. Comment down below what you feel about the game. Are you excited for Blue Protocol? Is this exactly what you've been waiting for and you hope it's great? Or you've just been you heard about it once or twice and you're just trying to get the details? Let me know down below. I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed yourself today, leave a like down below. You can support me and my work on Patreon and view Patreon exclusive content, link in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.